2 years ago, Bill Gates said something that made Silicon Valley laugh. But when GPT-5 launched last week, nobody was laughing anymore because Gates' prophecy had come true word for word, and the AI world wasn't ready for what came next. But here's what's really shocking. Was this the beginning of the AI winter that could change everything we thought we knew about artificial intelligence? Welcome back to AI Handbook channel, where I expose the revolutionary changes happening in artificial intelligence every single day. By the end of this video, you will understand why Bill Gates might have just saved the entire tech industry from a catastrophic collapse, and why GPT-5's failure could be the most important moment in AI history. Back in October 2023, while Sam Altman was promising that GPT-5 would be smarter than the smartest person you know, one voice cut through the noise with uncomfortable clarity. Bill Gates, speaking to German newspaper Handelsblatt, made a prediction that made everyone scratch their heads. GPT technology had reached a plateau. GPT-5 wouldn't be significantly better than GPT-4. Their response was predictable. AI enthusiasts dismissed him as out of touch. OpenAI believers scoffed. The man who co-founded Microsoft and revolutionized personal computing was being written off as someone who didn't understand the new world of AI. But Gates wasn't just making a wild guess. He had seen the patterns before. He called the leap from GPT-2 to GPT-4 incredible, but he believed current generative AI had hit a ceiling. While acknowledging he could be wrong, Gates stood firm. There were many good people at OpenAI convinced GPT-5 would be revolutionary, but the physics and economics simply didn't add up. What made his prediction even more remarkable was his reasoning. He understood something that the hype machine missed. Scaling laws aren't magic. They're bound by real-world constraints. As he put it, it's pretty expensive to train a large language model. The costs for computing power and semiconductors remain enormous. If you're finding this analysis valuable, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're about to dive deep into how this prophecy unfolded, and you won't want to miss what happened next. And hey, if you know someone who's been following the AI hype, share this with them. They need to see this. But Gates wasn't done. He made an even bolder prediction about what would happen when the industry hit this wall. For 877 long days, the world waited for GPT-5. From GPT-4's release on March 14, 2023, to GPT-5's launch on August 7, 2025, the anticipation reached fever pitch. OpenAI's valuation soared to $500 billion. Sam Altman made the rounds, promising revolutionary breakthroughs. The hype wasn't just marketing. It was systematic expectation inflation. Altman claimed GPT-5 would work like a legitimate PhD-level expert in anything, any area you need on demand. He suggested something smarter than the smartest person you know would soon run in your pocket. These weren't modest improvements. They were promises of digital superintelligence. Meanwhile, the AI industry built its entire narrative around scaling laws, the idea that simply adding more compute and data would continue yielding exponential improvements. Hundreds of billions in investment flowed based on this assumption. Companies restructured, careers pivoted, the future seemed inevitable. But as Gates had warned, there were signs the magic was already fading. Training costs were exploding exponentially. High-quality data was becoming scarce. The easy gains from scaling were getting harder to find. What nobody anticipated was just how dramatically the bubble would burst when reality finally arrived. When GPT-5 finally launched, the reaction was swift and brutal. Within 24 hours, Reddit exploded with anger. The r/ChatGPT subreddit filled with complaints. A thread titled "GPT-5 is horrible" shot to nearly 3,000 upvotes and over 1,200 comments. Users weren't just disappointed, they were furious. The model that was supposed to be revolutionary struggled with basic tasks, simple math errors, geographic mistakes. responses that felt snarky and corporate. The personality that made ChatGPT feel humanish was gone, replaced by what users described as a bland corporate memo. The technical performance told an even grimmer story. GPT-5 scored just 56.7% on SimpleBench, placing fifth, well behind expectations. Earlier models like GPT-4.5 outperformed it in key areas. On coding tasks, symbolic logic, even basic reasoning, GPT-5 stumbled through problems its predecessors could handle. But the real catastrophe wasn't the technical failures, it was OpenAI's response. The company was forced into an embarrassing rollback, making older models available again. Sam Altman had to admit the auto switcher was broken, making GPT-5 seem way dumber. For a company that had built its reputation on seamless launches, this was unprecedented. And that's when Bill Gates' prophecy revealed its true power. Gates hadn't just predicted GPT-5's failure, he had identified the fundamental problem that was about to reshape the entire AI industry. The scaling laws that had driven 5 years of exponential progress were hitting a wall of physics and economics. Multiple reports confirmed what Gates had seen coming. The information revealed that OpenAI's internal model, Orion, had shown far smaller improvements compared to previous generations. Bloomberg reported that Google and Anthropic were facing similar struggles. Reuters quoted Ilya Sutskever, OpenAI's former chief scientist, confirming that results from scaling up pre-training have plateaued. The numbers were stark. Training runs were approaching economic impossibility. To achieve the next level of performance would require not millions or billions, but trillions of dollars in compute. As one analysis showed, by 2027, training a cutting-edge model could cost $100 billion, 3 orders of magnitude away from humanity's total managed assets. But the crisis went deeper than economics. High-quality training data was running out. The internet had been strip-mined for text. Synthetic data generation brought its own problems. The easy exponential gains from just add more were over. Sam Altman's defiant response, posting "There is no wall" on X, only highlighted how unprepared the industry was for this reality. Former Google CEO Eric Schmidt insisted scaling laws hadn't stopped, but the evidence was mounting that something fundamental had changed. Which brings us to the most shocking revelation of all. Here's what makes Gates' 2023 predictions so remarkable. He wasn't trying to kill the AI dream, he was trying to save it from itself. While everyone else was drunk on exponential curves and infinite scaling, Gates saw the real path forward. His vision wasn't about bigger models, it was about better applications. Instead of chasing artificial general intelligence through brute force scaling, Gates predicted the real breakthroughs would come from making AI cheaper, more reliable, and more useful in everyday settings. Healthcare advice via smartphones, climate change solutions, practical applications that could justify the enormous investments. The GPT-5 disaster vindicated this approach completely. As AI researcher Gary Marcus noted, the disappointing performance proved that pure scaling will not get us to AGI. The industry's $500 billion bet on exponential scaling had hit reality. But Gates had also provided the roadmap for what comes next. The focus would shift from raw capability to efficiency and reliability, from general intelligence to specialized applications, from scaling up to optimizing what we already have. This wasn't the end of AI progress. It was the end of the hype cycle that had driven the industry into an unsustainable bubble. Companies would need to prove real value instead of promising infinite potential.
So what does this mean for the future of AI? The Gates prophecy has ushered in what we might call the pragmatic era of artificial intelligence. The age of magical thinking is over. The age of engineering real solutions has begun. The immediate impact is already visible. OpenAI's valuation is being questioned. NVIDIA's stock faces new uncertainty about future demand. AI companies are being forced to demonstrate actual revenue instead of just raising more funding on promises. But this reality check might be exactly what the industry needed. Instead of chasing impossible dreams of digital gods, AI companies are focusing on solving real problems. The technology that does exist, and it's already quite powerful, can finally be optimized for practical use. Gates' prediction about the next 2 to 5 years is looking prophetic too. We're seeing increased focus on reducing costs and error rates, making AI more reliable and trustworthy, building applications that justify their computational expense. The scaling laws haven't disappeared, they've just become more expensive and specialized. The easy exponential gains are over, but targeted improvements in specific domains continue. It's the difference between expecting magic and doing engineering.
Bill Gates' 2023 prophecy about GPT-5 will be remembered as one of the most prescient predictions in tech history. While everyone else was caught up in the hype, he saw the fundamental constraints that would reshape the entire industry. The GPT-5 disaster wasn't just a product failure. It was the moment the AI industry grew up, the moment hype met reality, the moment the Silicon Valley dream machine had to confront the laws of physics and economics. But as Gates understood, this wasn't a crisis, it was an opportunity. The end of magical scaling means the beginning of practical engineering. The end of infinite promises means the beginning of real solutions. The AI winter that many feared might actually be exactly what the industry needed. A chance to build something sustainable, something real, something that can actually deliver on the promises that have been made. Bill Gates didn't kill the AI dream. He saved it from killing itself. And in the end, that might be the most important contribution anyone could make to the future of artificial intelligence. What do you think? Was Bill Gates right to pump the brakes on AI hype, or should we have kept pushing the scaling laws to their absolute limit? Let me know in the comments below. And if this analysis opened your eyes to what's really happening in AI, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that are actually shaping our technological future.